Moving to get a better picture. Gonna get better pictures. Collecting evidence for the prosecutor. Hello everybody, hope I'm not late.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see you again.
No problem.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Is he coming? Yeah, he's just a couple minutes out.
We're just waiting on one more person to get here. As long as he gets here quickly.
He said he's just trying.
Which quarter?
Yeah, yeah.
Which corner? A lot of corners. He didn't say store.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Last time I was there, it wasn't. It's like the kids, drug me up and drug me beach and all.
I'm not wanting to use the computer. I couldn't. I don't have to have it on a piece of paper. Anytime I have it, pen and paper. Just let you know, one more board member's on his way, so we're just waiting for him to get here.
Mm.
There he is, sir. Make your entrance. Somebody said that.
I think you're sitting there.
That was probably the most succinct way I've ever seen that read. For the I do. Yeah. Sure you do, right? We need to push. Bill Barnes, Frank Matthews, Lorraine Green, Okay, I call this meeting to order. We're a few minutes late, so thank you for being patient. Let me just say one thing, that the board meeting is here just to do business of the board. So I just want to make that clear for everybody. So, does anybody like to lead us in prayer tonight? Okay, I'll try. Or Frank?
Please go ahead. Merciful Father, we thank you for the opportunity to come together to do the best we can to make our community a great place to live. Please bless each one here. Give us the strength and convictions to carry through the world. In the Lord's name, amen.
Amen.
Say the pledge. Allegiance to
The flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to say thank you all for attending. We appreciate that you taking an effort to come see us. Okay, so Mike, did y'all get the attendees?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Should we go ahead and keep the minutes from the last board?
We can. Somebody like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the last board. From the last board meeting. Yes. I'll second.
I wonder if you wrote them, did you sign it? No.
Yeah. We got a second?
I second.
There's any discussion? Vote, all in favor, raise your hand. Aye. Bill? It's unanimous. Okay, moving on to,
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to, slightly rearrange the, agenda. We, underneath, old business B, where it's confirm, DOD, positions, I believe that would be new business as to what we're going to do, which is, Mike is planning to resign and as secretary, or give up his position, however the wording is, and then, when we, appoint our new, board, members, then we're gonna change that out, so I think that should be moved down right underneath A of appointment of new board members.
okay, do we have a second on the reads? Second. Discussion. So I'd like to discuss this just for a second. So we're just rearranging the order.
Correct.
Okay.
We're moving old to new, under new.
Okay.
And then, that's just where we'll stop there, so, at this time,
Okay.
that's all I can say.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, let's take a vote. All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed? Motion carries.
All right.
Okay, moving to the report summary. Rich, do you want to give up and give a quick summary for the ACC?
I can.
Thank you, sir. Would you like a mic?
No, I'll talk loud.
I know, okay.
Everybody hear me? For the month of August, ACC has processed 21 permit applications. Year-to-date, 140. As of August 31st, site-built homes currently under construction, 13. Year-to-date, manufactured homes in progress, 4. Year-to-date, fees collected, $45,031.
Great, thank you, Rich, I appreciate it.
Very nice.
Okay, Maureen, treasurer, financials?
Okay, let's just have a party, guys. All right, my name is Maureen, and I'm the treasurer and also the chairperson of the financial committee. And I'm thinking Mindy gave me something here. Okay, here we go. Got it. Okay, in reading the management update report that was given to me by PMI, it's effective as of September 23rd, 2025. Operating account balance is $177,564.23. Our reserve account balance is $271,131.44. Reserves deposit account balance is $24,000. Our operating, social committee balance is $2,361.09. Our AR status as of August 26th, 2025 is $739,205.84 is the balance total. Over 90 days is $728,715.78. Over 60 days is $712.18. Over 30 days is $3,424.22, and our current is $6,353.66. That is, again, the report that's given to me by PMI. We met in September as a financial committee. Our members of that committee are myself, Lynn Perkins, Rick Vinson, David Hoagland, I never say his name right, I apologize, David, I just slaughtered that. And also, we have a new member, Greg Dykes. So we met to review the income versus our expenses and the 2025 budget for the first 8 months of 2025. We noted that income has been less than we projected it would be, and that our expenses have been more than we expected they were projected to be. So we formulated an email that was drafted and sent to PMI to request that they look into this matter, which they are doing at this time, and we are waiting for them to be ready to meet with us as a financial committee to formulate a plan for the rest of the, now almost 3 months, but the rest of the year of 2025. We are actively in the process of working on the budget for 2026. And I believe that's all I have on the financials for Indian Harbor tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Frank Batten is over maintenance now.
Wait, I have a question.
Okay.
Marty, in general, how does the finance committee feel like Indian Harbor's finances are health-wise? Are we hanging by a toenail or fingernail, or are we okay, or?
I mean, I hate to say 100% sure of anything.
Oh, no.
It just did not look right to me when I took over as treasurer. I just kind of started seeing some things, and then we started digging into some things. And you know, we're not sitting great, that's for sure.
So to be determined.
It is definitely to be determined,
Okay.
and we are working, diligently. I cannot tell you how diligently. This is a full-time job. And we're going to get to the bottom of things and get things trucking right, so as we move into 2026, we are going to be sitting in a position where we are more realistic about everything. It looks the worst because we expected X amount of income and assessments. That's where we get our money from. And due to circumstances, those have not come in like we expected them to. And therefore, when you make the type of budget we make, there's a zero balance at the end. So if you don't take the money in that you expect, but you have all these allocated items of expense that you're planning on spending, unfortunately, that's a big deficit there. And I don't think there was a close enough eye kept upon it to kind of stop that flow when we needed to. So if we can get more assessments than we come to the beginning of the year, then we are going to sit way better off in 2026. A lack of assessments coming in is literally, it's hindering our ability, 100%.
So my next question would be, does your report indicate what percentage of assessments we've collected to date?
I did not have that prepared to give here, it'll be, I can put it in the financial committee minutes, that I'm gonna give to Mindy, and then you can, view it and see it.
And then finally, is that report something that's archived permanently? Because if not, I think we'd like to attach it as an amendment to the minute, or an attachment to the minutes, just for reference.
Yes.
Rather than us try to write down a bunch of numbers that go through our head and out the other
Yeah,
side.
I have no problems with the minutes that I give Mindy every month being
So
attached.
if we can just refer to them somewhere, that's fine. Otherwise, we'd like to have a copy.
Yes, that's fine, I have no problem with
So
that.
which is,
I will give them to Mindy, and Mindy will, obviously, put them in with the minutes, if that's what you guys would like to have.
all right, so we'll make a note that that your financial committee report is attached.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Frank, now.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
You said I'm charged of the maintenance committee, we don't have a committee yet. I'm the one person, so we're looking for some volunteers to give me a hand. If you're so inclined, I'd be glad to talk to you and get some information from you. What I've started to do since I took over is working with BMI, and I'm now getting copies of all the maintenance requests that are submitted that were online and dropped off at the office. And I'm creating a spreadsheet so that I can track all the maintenance requests, when they're completed, and be able to notify the people who submitted them when it's completed, or looking, but we're not gonna be able to do the funds. Our treasurer just said, you don't have much money to spend. So there are a lot of things that we'd like to take care of maintenance-wise, we just don't have the money to be able to do it at this point. The teen center, or the activity center, whichever you want to call it, there's several things down there that need to be done. We're gonna address that, but again, we just don't have much money to take care of things, going out and getting bids to do it. We need to do things as much as possible in-house with the people we have. So, if anybody has any suggestions, my ears are open, anytime.
Okay, thank you. Hey, Bill, do you want to give oh,
Sorry.
I don't want to have to keep missing you.
Well, that's pretty hard.
Yeah.
I'm hiding behind stuff.
Okay.
Just FYI, I know that you're probably aware that Mindy has been doing a lot of spreadsheet stuff in like Google Sheets so that it can be shared with everybody. So when you're putting your spreadsheets, she may already have some.
She does, but I'm modifying it because it didn't track just maintenance.
Yeah.
So I need to strip out the maintenance from everything else that's on.
But you're
there,
gonna do
so
it
that we
through
can-
her system so that we can all look at it.
Exactly.
Perfect. Very well.
So for clarity, they're staying Google Sheets. For clarity, they're gonna stay Google Sheets.
Yes.
Okay, Bill, would you like to give a security report?
One thing I wanted to bring up or ask about was, I know we covered this on the last board, I just hoping, PMI's not here, so I was hoping to hit that one. Because what we're looking at is having the, stuff I wrote up for the rules change posted, so that way it should become a rule. And I don't know the status for that. Because what it was actually giving, security the authorization to do what they're supposed to do, because we never did that before. That way the board is accepting security and told security, this is what you're supposed to do, and these are the rules that go along with it, and they bring up their SOPs to be able to do it.
Go ahead, Bill.
I'm sorry.
I'm having trouble, I'm old, and
Yeah.
I understand we're trying to help Lindsay out. So your question is, did we vote on?
Yes, we voted on it, and it was supposed to get published, but I don't know where it ended up because of what I ended up with doing with my life.
I don't have any.
Lost in space.
I don't see, and I'll have to check the minutes, I don't remember us voting on it, I remember we talked about it, we discussed it at a workshop, and also there was a little bit of discussion at one board meeting. I could be wrong, because
I thought there was a vote.
Yeah, I thought we had voted on it and had it all approved, and what we were supposed to do then is publish it, because what we found out, by doing that other, rules of reg change with the mobile home thing, that we gotta post it first,
And then
before we
everything.
can actually show it. So it gives the members 30 days to say their point of view to it, and then we answer that. But after that end of 30 days, then it becomes a rule.
Okay, I'll have to look into it, I don't have an answer for you.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I just
we
wanted to
will
make
jot
sure
down.
I just want to get that on track so we get that done, because that is what gives, security the authority to do what they're doing out here. Otherwise, what are they doing? So that way we also tell them, they get a call, they can actually go out and do something instead of trying to figure out what next. All right.
Okay, we'll look into that and
Okay.
try to figure out where.
Yeah, Mike?
Bill, what did you call this document?
It was just a, rules and regs change. I think it was for section 31.
Rules and
Three.
regulations
Yeah.
upgrade for security?
Yeah. Yeah, because what I wanted to do is make sure that they have the authority, and that everyone out here knows that when they show up, they do have that authority to do these things, so the board has given it to them. Because what it is under, the criminal code and under, OSHA, we're allowed to give them the authority to be able to police the neighborhood and enforce the rules that we have, as well as Texas law. Okay?
Have you looked at your rule, I assume you have, but have you looked at your rules in relation to, the SOP that
Yeah.
the security company
Oh,
has?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I know he's got an extensive.
yeah, Mike, we've gotten together and got it all worked out.
I knew you had, but
Yeah, he's got it all set up, and he's moving forward with it. Because he already said it was approved, and that way he's able to do it, because they're already writing citations, proceeding, and all this stuff. So that's what that was for, to give them the authority to do that, and I just wanted to make sure, but because of my leg, it ended up falling through the cracks for 3 months.
Yeah, okay, no, we'll look into that.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Otherwise, talking with security, they turned around and said we had a couple incidents out here with a couple of shootings that the sheriff's department's already taken care of. So other than that, also, for everyone that's still sitting here, that if you think that you have a problem in your area, call Crime Stoppers. The deputies are looking for information to be able to act on. They might be working on a dope house over on Pawnee or over on Sioux Court somewhere, and they just need some more information. Now, if you can give them some more information saying you're seeing people there at 3 in the morning, and it just looks like all they're doing is an exchange, that way they can do something about it, and they can set up surveillance and be able to check into it and find out what's going on. Also, what I'm looking at doing is getting with the sheriff. This is something that I just came up with in the last month while I've been laid up. Nuisance abatement is a law under the Civil Practices and Remedies Code. Nuisance abatement was used a lot in Fort Worth. What it was is if you have an area or a residence that is causing problems, drug activity, gang activity, gunfire, assault, I think is another one. If all that is happening at this one residence, we can actually get the Attorney General to hold a hearing and actually shut their house down. Because we did that in a couple of places in Fort Worth where we actually went in. They had an hour to get the stuff out that they wanted to get out, and then the house was boarded up with plywood. Okay, so that's just something that I'm looking at doing to get the crime rate down. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Bill. Okay.
I have a question, I was asked about, when someone hits one of our gates, how does security, handle that? What information do you keep, like, on file? Like, how do you?
Security does an incident report on it, and they also get a hold of the sheriff's department. So that way they can check the film to see if we got any video monitors. The cameras are really good now. I've been looking at the cameras, and the cameras are really showing up some good stuff, and picking out license plates a lot better than they used to. Let's put it that way. So, like, I noticed that the exit gate got broke again just in the last month. And anybody heard anything on that one? All right. You guys heard what happened to the gate, on the exit gate?
That's still a bit there.
Huh?
That's a malfunction there.
Oh, that was a malfunction?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
The reason I ask is, I don't know if we we then find the person that
Oh,
is
yeah, well, the sheriff's
responsible?
department has arrested several.
Okay, well, I was gonna say, have we ever looked into the avenue, I know it wouldn't be your job, but I'm just asking a question, the avenue of, going after their auto insurance for those
Yeah,
details?
we already, that's what I already, PMI was supposed to be working on, because their auto insurance, if they don't pay for it, we put a file onto them to do that. And also, that's one of the things we look at for filing charges. If they do restitution, maybe we won't throw you in jail. Because when you're looking at the damage to the gate, it's up to a misdemeanor, and sometimes could actually go to a felony. So, either you do restitution, or you go to prison.
Okay, so you would have like pictures of their license
Oh,
plates?
yeah, all that stuff
right?
is supposed to, is being put together by the sheriff's deputy.
Okay,
And
awesome.
by these guys, when they turn it in, because when it happens, they get a hold of the sheriff's deputy and they do the report, because they do an incident report as well.
Okay, awesome, thank you. Yes, sir.
Case where go ahead, that, 3 or 4 times, that's an ongoing case, and they've gone to court soon.
Okay, gotcha, awesome. So an ongoing case is gonna go to
Yeah,
court?
it's cool, it's
Oh,
an
yeah,
incident
yeah.
report from the sheriff's department.
And we can get it for criminal.
Okay, awesome.
And go that route.
Okay, thank you, sir, I appreciate it. Okay, that, got the reports done, we'll move on to, old business. So for y'all that don't know, we have an official Indian Harbor Facebook page, and it is called Indian Harbor Property Owners Association. And you can get on Facebook, you can pull it up. This page is just for information to be posted, no comments are to be made by anybody. If we want to put something out and you want to go to it, that's where you go to find any official alignment with the town square. So just to let y'all know that, because I know a lot of people get on Facebook and like to do that.
And I understand it's not really for chit chat.
No, not
No,
really.
It's a one-way street for you to go and look for
Official information from the harbor.
announcements from the harbor.
Okay, next thing on the agenda is, the 2 courts. For the people in the audience that don't know, there is 2 courts that's in the harbor, Carson Court and Tahoe Court. Never knew they existed, but when you look on the map, they exist, but for some reason, they were never constructed. They're just open field. Now we've got people buying property on those lots there, and so we're having to, of course, put streets in, which is another unexpected cost that we have to do, but that's something we have to do. So, Maureen?
I was gonna make a motion.
Okay.
I
So I'm
make-
just explaining that to why we're doing this, okay?
I make a motion that we, go with, the, estimate, from Chalk Mountain, to do the engineering reports for both Carson and Tahoe Court.
I'll second the motion.
Second. Okay, discussion?
Frank, or?
What are they gonna do? You said engineering work?
This engineering, so for that, before we just can't go pave, you know, out of the blue. So there has to be an engineering study, which I'm not an expert at that, but I believe, you know, they do soil testing, they do drainage. There's a lot of things that goes into it to make sure that the proper drainage and all that's done, and the road base and everything that goes that way. So that's why the engineering study has to be done first before we even get into the paving part.
Does that also include like a survey of what part is the court versus private property?
Yes.
Or any of that? Or is it already exists?
It's already passed.
It's already platted. It is already platted, and it's 2 courts that were never paved, that were supposed to be paved when
Is
When this
it
was created.
marked with like iron rods or something?
it's all,
Yes.
it's all
So-
staked or
so we
whatever
know
that
where
term is.
okay.
Yeah, we know where the courts are to be.
Okay.
Yeah, we absolutely do. And we did get multiple, bids for this. I like this company mainly because I felt like in their bid, their scope of work was very, detail outlined. You know, where some of the other ones were very vague as to what they were gonna do. This one's more like what we need to move forward to go ahead and get those courts paved, chip sealed, whatever we end up doing with them, but getting them to the point where they're usable for the people whose homes are now being built there, or they're already living on it and they don't have a street yet, so.
Sorry, can you give me the name of that company again?
Chalk, CHAULK Mountain.
Thank you.
And this is just the beginning of the process to get these streets put in.
First step.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, we'll take a vote. All in favor for Chalk Mountains, raise your hand. All opposed? Motion carries.
How much was the bid?
I believe it's $7,500.
$7,500.
I'm giving Mike a second to write that down. Yeah. Okay, next we're moving to new business. And, for the board, I think the first thing is we had a gentleman that ran for the board, got on the board, TJ Donahue, and received a number of votes, and he became a board member, and I think he attended one meeting, if I'm not mistaken, and then there was something that happened in his family that he couldn't control, and he had to step down. You know, so he sent his letter in, so I'd like to entertain a motion that
I make a
we
motion.
accept his resignation.
Or did you make it?
No, I want you to make it.
I make a motion that we accept TJ's, resignation.
Frank second. Discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving on, so right now, Lindsay, who's at the very end taking our notes, she was one of the candidates and received, I believe 93 votes. But she, when, Larry Frackford stepped down, she moved in, was asked to move in his spot according to our bylaws that she could fill his position. And that was sent to her. And so, as a board, we need to officially vote her in. So, motion?
I make a motion to appoint Lindsay to, the term left of Larry after his resignation.
I'll second.
Discussion? Okay, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
Congratulations.
Yay, Lindsay.
Congratulations.
It's official.
Oh, sympathy.
Yeah.
Probably should have done that first, and then we voted.
Okay, moving on to the,
Okay, now.
right, and keep, right now, Lindsay is going to become the secretary of the board. That's right, she's kind of getting some deals. Mike was his secretary, he's kind of helping her out. He's going to step away from the secretary job, and he's going to move into chair of the road committee.
I make a motion to accept that Mike is gonna step down from secretary and that we, move Lindsay, vote Lindsay into the position of secretary.
Second. Discussion? All in favor of that motion? All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, now we had a, now we need to, yeah, the vacancy. So we accepted Mr. TJ Donahue's resignation. Now we have an empty spot on the board. Nobody else that ran on the board got the required 50% vote to move automatically into the board. So at that time, the board can pick somebody for the fill the vacancy of the spot. We did have a gentleman that volunteered. His name is Greg Dykes. He lives here in the harbor. He's retired, works for the government, auditor, which I think that will help us out a lot. And he would like to be considered for the board. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to appoint Greg Dykes to the Indian Harbor BOD.
Frank seconds. Discussion?
I'm introducing myself.
Okay.
This is, Greg from the audience, tonight. He was asked, if he was interested in this position because we think that he is going to be a great addition to what we have created up here, so that we can move forward in a really good fashion, I hope. His first thing was he was really interested in being on the financial committee, which we were happy to have him. And then we thought, oh, it might be really nice to have, somebody like that actually on the board, you know, for our meetings and our conversations that we have in our workshops and stuff. So Greg thought on it and, said that he was interested, and yeah, so I'm excited, and that is great, right there.
Greg, you want to stand up or you want to just wave?
Yay!
That's fine.
If he's on the board, tell him to get up here and take a seat.
We got all the
Yeah, so, no, we had a motion,
Discuss.
it was seconded.
Okay.
That was all discussion, any further discussion? All in favor to accept Mr. Fox?
I think you're
All
right.
Come
against?
on, yay, Greg!
Motion carries. Congratulations, Greg.
Awesome.
We'll get you your own file.
Okay.
Next.
Yes. So the next thing on the agenda is, talking about the election committee. I'll let Scott.
Okay, so, I don't know, I'm assuming most everybody here has not been made aware of the fact that we haven't appointed an election committee over the last few years. In consultation with our attorney, that's a moot point. The actions that we took were all satisfied the requirements of the election committee, and probably exceeded in a couple of places. But that's, we'll be preparing, we're getting a prepared statement that'll be posted on Town Square to the memberships and so forth. Once we get that.
Thank you, Scott.
Are we getting a prepared statement from the attorney?
Yes.
Yes, from the attorneys.
If it's necessary?
It's probably the cleanest way. What we have right now is a letter from the management company who consulted with the attorneys, but just to lay this whole thing in clear, you know, just plain English, get the attorneys actually giving us a legal opinion.
Well, if it was free, I'd be all for it. Frankly, I don't think it's worth the money. Because his legal opinion doesn't mean anything except his opinion. If somebody doesn't like it and wants to sue us over it, which seems to be the fashion thing to do, then it'll happen. Then it'll ultimately be up to the judge. But just because we have one member bring it up in what I would consider a negative fashion, I am not at all interested in humoring anybody and spending good money for something like that. Personally, I think a letter from PMI or the letter that was circulated around from PMI, if you want to publish something, publish that. And that doesn't cost a cent.
I have some other information, background information I can give you.
Okay.
That might change your mind, I don't know.
Okay, thank you, Mike. I appreciate the comment. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is activity center and the pool areas. So for many know that we'll start with the activity center, the teen center. The tennis courts are in major disarray and are really, I think, more of a hazard. And right now, with the funds being the way they are, is that we closed down the tennis courts. You know, put some signs up just for liabilities so people don't get on there and hurt themselves. And I think we need to take action on that. And I'll put that in. Go ahead, Vern.
No, really.
Okay. Then I'll also talk about the pool. There's some things that's been brought up about the pool that we need to address also. And I think I'd like to, if somebody wants to make a motion, but I think that the pool needs to be closed down shortly. Of course, it's going to be getting cool. I think the cold front's coming in. tonight, but we need to shut that down and then reopen after we make all needed repairs to both of those places.
Make a motion, we close the pool effective 1 October. We'll go through the rest of the month. Rest of October is closed.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Discussion? Okay, all in favor of the motion to close, is that for the pool and the tennis?
No,
tennis-
just
I
the
want
pool.
to address the team center separately.
Yep.
Okay, just the pool? All in favor for the motion? Raise your hand.
October 1.
October 1. Correct. All in favor? All against? Motion carries.
Okay.
Greg, if you can make note of that so we can get that out properly sent. For those who sit here, this is Greg Corrigan, he is our new compliance person for, the harbor. He works for PMI, and, some people might live in Vernon, might recognize him other places, but we're glad that he's here. But if you could do that so we can get that to Mindy and pass it on. Okay, the teen center, and
I'm gonna make a motion that, the teen center basketball / tennis court area, be closed, to any and all members and their, family, friends, whoever come, but close it down until we can get it back under control and, usable, safely usable, by the community, and that is my motion.
okay, that's a good motion. Any seconds? Okay, second. Okay, discussion. Also, go ahead, Frank.
As far as closing just the tennis courts, that's not gonna work. You're gonna have to close the entire area to keep people out of there. The walkways around the teen center are deplorable at best. The tripping hazards, kids get in there, start playing around, they're gonna get hurt. So the picnic areas are really not safe for people to be in there too. I would suggest that we lock the gate. Not just, that way you're keeping people from coming out. You're never gonna stop someone from climbing a fence. But if you leave the gate open, they're just gonna walk right through, there's nothing there to stop them from going in. As a deterrent, we should lock that gate.
Okay.
Well, I know this, the building itself, the activity center building itself, there are some people that do use that, everything. I agree that there's tripping hazards, but there's gonna be tripping hazards no matter what we do, because it's an outdoor facility, walking through the parking lot, the routes, all that kind of stuff. I fully agree that some of those hazards ought to be controlled better than they are. But, so, I don't know what the impact, I have no idea how many groups use that building.
I think if we could make a determination of who they are, we could make arrangements for them, if they're gonna hold something there, to open the gate for the time they're gonna be utilizing it. And when they're done, it gets locked up again.
I like that idea.
Yeah, Lindsay?
As a mom of kids, like, I don't agree with shutting it down. I do get that there's safety hazards that might be out there. It is a place for teens and not small kids. Like, we still go out there and play basketball, with my teenager, and we have yet to break an ankle. I'm not saying that it couldn't happen. But it's also where families go to hang out, and I feel like shutting the gates and just saying like when we can get to it is not a plan of action for all the families that have moved in here and need something to do, and maybe there is a better solution. One of the solutions might be reaching out to the community and seeing who wants to help and spend a Saturday out there cleaning up what we can, make it more efficient, and I'd be happy to join in that group of people and help clean it up. But until we ask the whole community, I mean, we basically be taking away major amenities from kids that will not have anything better to do than to cause problems in our community.
Maureen? Okay, I'd like to touch on both of those, because I agree with you some, and I agree with you some. My point of view is, just for that deal, is that people do walk their dogs down there. People do sit at the picnic tables, you know, for that, and they're going to continue to do that. So personally, I feel that we're not shutting, I wouldn't want to shut that down there. The only thing that I think needs to be shut down now, and it's really just to protect the liability for the harbor, because they're in such poor shape that we put the signs up, we officially shut down the teen center, but I agree with you, and I'll be right there next to you working on the on the tennis courts to do that. So just my 2 cents worth.
My feeling on it is we have a duty as board members to attempt to do our best to fix the things that we see that are wrong. And I'm going to do some under the bus throwing here, and I apologize up front. We requested that one of the groups I'm in uses the teen center, and we requested the sidewalk to be fixed. It was bad. And this is before me being on the board. And it was done by it was done by PMI Maintenance. We have 2 maintenance guys that we pay payroll to. They are employees of PMI, not of Indian Harbor. And the repair on it was awful. They did not put any effort into it. And it just needed to have a section removed, which was easily removable, form it, concrete it, now all of a sudden it's fine, right? That's not what was done. We have brought that in to the attention of our management company, and I'm sorry, but Greg's sitting there, but I'm gonna throw him under the bus. The answers we got were not acceptable, in my opinion. So this leads us to who's gonna repair this. We have to hire somebody to pour the concrete when it's just a few bags of concrete and some wooden forms that our maintenance people, PMI maintenance people, should be able to do for maintaining our community, which is what we pay them to do. Secondly, as far as the use of the basketball courts, this is not a permanent closing. My idea would be close it off, close the gates off, take the broken, dilapidated backboards down. Hopefully somebody can replace the backboard with either wood or plexiglass in the community. I have no problem doing that either. But take them down, take the net down, whoever provided that net. That's not our net as Indian Harbor asset. That is somebody's net. We would roll it up nicely, put it out there and say, this is your net. We have it safely secured. Or if you would like it until you can put it back up, we'll give it to you. And then peel back some of that fence. We have I believe it's called a skid steer, I don't know, something with a flat bucket on it, that we can go across and remove all that built up grass and debris on top of the asphalt, which shouldn't take forever to do. Get it all cleaned up, do some grass killing in those cracks and crevices, clean that out, put some tar in. I mean, how our playground was my whole life when we were, in school. It wasn't perfect asphalt. There were places where, the tar was poured in. Then reopen it. That shouldn't be a huge monetary cost to Indian Harbor. We already paid the maintenance guys. They can be working on that, so that was my suggestion. So we can leave the rest of it open, start fixing the items that we need to fix and get them done. I agree with you. There's a lot of us in Indian Harbor that will go out there and do the work right alongside those maintenance guys. But here's the thing. We pay payroll for 2 maintenance people. There's no reason why, if we ask for certain things to be done as a board, that they're not getting done. So we have an issue there, but that's why I said we do need, for safety, even though you use it, we do need to close, in my opinion, the basketball court and then start lickety-split, start cleaning it up and getting it safe again so we can reopen it for the people that want to use it.
So I do agree with some of that, and I'm probably going to be outvoted here, but I just think from a board standpoint with the homeowners, like shutting something down without a date or a plan of action to get it back open is not building community or trust with people around us. And even though we shouldn't have to do it ourselves, and I appreciate everybody else being open to do it, like at what point do we hold PMI accountable for the money that we pay and sit out there and watch them. There was a time my kids wouldn't clean their bathroom, and I made them pay me hourly, they thought that was to clean the bathroom, but it was actually to sit on the counter and watch them clean and supervise the process. So I don't know what the process in the past has been with them, but obviously there's issues there. And I think even if it's them giving us a timeline to when they can do it, like before we shut it down, we should be able to present to all the homeowners here what the plan is to fix it, what the timeline is to get it done.
Okay, thank you, Lindsay. Mike?
It might also be worth approaching the men's club and see if they would like to help organize a Saturday work day or something, especially with the weather starting to cool off, where we could go down there and clean up and do some things. We poured concrete sidewalks in Indian Harbor for other people. It's not rocket science. And one of the other considerations, we may want to consider coming up here. We've got these light standards up here, so the parking lot here at the clubhouse is lit at night. Maybe we want to mount a couple of gold posts on the edge of the pavement and just mark off a little half-court basketball court. And because the nice thing about the clubhouse, it's so out in the open, it's real easy for security to keep an eye on it. And it's lit at night, and it's not close to anybody particularly. And, you can play basketball pretty quiet.
So we'll be able to put it in half court without any problem at all.
Yes, I think that's an excellent
Maybe
idea.
even a couple of them.
Now, let me just say this, I've been talking with Greg and the members that came out. We did receive today, I did an email to get the sidewalk, which is probably, 2.5 foot by 3 foot area that's got a big tripping hazard. We did get that from PMI, and it was a couple of $100, but I think, like I said, that's something, I've got the tools, we can do that. Going back to what you said is, and I've had discussions with PMI, I don't know how bad the cracks are, and folks, what we're talking about is there's cracks, and then crabgrass can grow anywhere, but they get right in that crack, and then now we got the hump. My idea to PMI was to take the skid loader, take that crabgrass and the weeds that have mounted up, at least to survey if the courts are usable or not. I'm not an expert on that, but I think that's the first step that we need to do. And if we can do that, then we can address what the next step is. If it can be fixed cheaply, then I'm all for getting it going. But I think at this time right now, my view is that we close it just for liability so we can get in there and do the works. I think Mike had an excellent idea, and I'm sure we can get enough people. I've already been looking for basketball goals to replace the 2 down there, and they're cheap if we can get some to put up here that, the freestanding ones. I'm sure we can get enough donations to do that and get some paint, and I agree with you. You may get the men's club, and let's mark out a court up there, and then let the kids play here. And then we're not shutting down the tennis courts permanently. We just want to make sure that they're safe to play on.
On the courts up here, we just have to make sure that we remember this is a parking lot, and that is what it is designated as. So people will be driving in here while the children are playing, and if a basketball gets loose, and a car's coming, we do rent out this facility, which means that parking is supposed to be afforded to people that rent out that rent out the clubhouse, so we may have problems in that. We have town hall meetings, where the parking lot is in use, so there's where I have a little concern about setting up the basketball, unless we have it cordoned off in a manner where that stays there. That's my only concern with that. I think it's a super good idea, though. I like the idea of having a secondary availability to basketball court. I don't know how many times we've ever really completely filled this parking lot that we couldn't give up some of this parking lot to make a dedicated little half court or something,
I don't think you need to make it dedicated, Maureen. I live on a dead-end street, and I think there's 3 basketball courts along my street, and I can go up and down that street every day. It's just a parking lot It gets used maybe 5% of the time or less. And you put a couple of put the goals off the pavement, right on the edge of it, so it doesn't interfere with parking, and then put some stripes on the ground, and call it a deal. I grew up playing basketball on a dirt court.
I
So,
understand that, that's
you know,
not what I was-
pavement is like luxury.
I was referring to the liability issue.
Everything's a liability.
Well, there's a different liability when I'm a personal
So you
homeowner.
put a sign up that says, play at your own risk.
I'm just,
Just like we did with the playground here.
yes, but the playground, we couldn't just have, remember, anybody build that playground. By our insurance documents, by the insurance company, we couldn't have any person say, hey, I'll build it for free. We literally were required to, if I'm not mistaken, were we not required, Angie, to buy from a professional, have a professional install it according
Yes.
to insurance issues? So that's what I'm getting at. As much as we like the idea, it is a different thing than a basketball at the end of my street or the end of my driveway. This is something we're saying as a board that we're gonna say is, we're taking liability for it, basically. If we say we agree to do that, we're taking liability for it.
I just think that first of all, I doubt that there's any OSHA standards for outdoor basketball courts on the side of your parking lot. There are OSHA standards for playgrounds. So while I understand your concern, I just don't think there is. I think it's.
Well, I agree with you, and I agree with you too. We gotta look at all this, but if,
I agree with
yeah,
Rick,
I
agree
think
with me.
that I think it's a good idea. Maybe we'll have to look at putting a temporary barrier up on just one corner, and I emphasize temporary, so the kids can come up here and play. And I know we're trying to work, to get the light fixed, but we've got a motion on the floor can you read that motion back to me? Is it just a temporary close, just a tennis
My
court?
motion was to temporarily close the tennis courts and then
Okay.
basically get them fixed.
Okay, I'm gonna end the discussion. I'm glad we had the discussion, and I appreciate everybody, because it all means something. So, it's
So
time.
just the tennis courts and not the
Just the
entire.
tennis
My
courts?
motion was just the tennis courts.
The only question is how you do it.
Well, the only way to really close the tennis courts is just put a sign up saying it's closed under further repair. Does that keep anybody out? No, but I think it protects the harbor liability. Right, okay?
In my motion, I said, that we close it, we remove the tennis nets, that we remove the dangerous backboards with half a thing of plexiglass in them, that we cover the entrance on each side of the tennis court, and we put up some type of sign saying that this is closed, like that, it's closed for repair, not for forever, just for repair, and then we need to work at getting it done, whether it's through community, or it's through PMI, or whoever, the men's club, whoever it is, we can get it done in a week if we want to. It won't take that long if we just go do it, but we need to close it to get it done and be safe and not be liable.
Okay. Okay, any discussion? Let's take a vote. All in favor to just close the tennis courts temporarily? I believe what's the motion? All in favor, raise your hand.
I've got a comment.
Hold on, we can't comment.
No
on that.
comments right now. This is a board meeting, and I'm very sorry, but it's just a board meeting to discuss that. Now, if you want to discuss something after the board, I'll be more than happy to entertain it. So, all in favor? All against? Okay. Got one against, the motion carries. And we'll say this, that I'll work with PMI, especially since hopefully, the grass is gonna slow down some, that we can get working on that, tennis courts quick, and get it, and I'll work with you, Lindsay, to try to get some people, and see if we can get that cleaned up. We could get the goals down, we'll get some money to put new goals up, because they're all over the marketplace. I don't mind donating, but we will address that.
Quickly.
Quick.
We've been moving quick, a lot quicker than
Okay,
people believe.
okay. Moving on. committee updates.
No, we need to, that's where we get our new committees.
Right. Right. So, the new board that we have here, there's a lot happening in the harbor right now. A lot. And to address some of this, it's hard for, I never realized when I got on the board a year ago, how much time it takes. But it is what it is, and I believe in Indian Harbor, so to help the board, we have to have some committees formed. And so there's committees that will be informed. I think the board needs to, we need to vote on these committees. And do we want to do them individually and their chairs?
I believe
So
we could.
let's do them individual. So the first committee is we're wanting to start is the Legal and Records Committee. And the purpose of that is just to help us do research, anything that we think that the harbor needs to look into, instead of one person spending hours digging through documents and things like that. So that's the committee. Do we want to vote on them all? Well, let's vote on them all at once.
Okay, so creation of legal records committee, one.
Right. Next committee is Capital Improvement Committee. And I think this is very important that we put in line or itemize our capital improvements that we plan in the future to do. We just got to know, like any entity, we got to plan ahead. And so that's what that committee is for putting together.
One question, are we, PMI now has that, study for that, I think it was for capital improvements?
The reserve study. There was a reserve study.
Right. We need to make sure that's incorporated. That's all I want to make a point of. Because if I don't want to start over, because that's got a lot of stuff that we're supposed to be getting done, and we need to make sure that gets done prior to the nice things.
Well, and I understand, I've just vaguely looked at the reserve committee, I just got the deals, but I think that they can all work hand in hand together on that. So we're just getting a committee together, so it's not just certain board members doing all the work. We need help from the community to get that going. So that's what these are for. Also, as Frank said, we need to have a maintenance committee. There's a lot of things in Indian Harbor that needs to be repaired, pardon.
I said what?
And we have a bathhouse on Hoppy Court. I never knew we had one there, but it's closed down. The bathhouse over in the RV section is closed down. These are just a couple of the many maintenance problems. The pool, the tennis courts, all our buildings that we need to get. So that's what that committee is for. And then they can work with PMI and we can get going on that. We also have a social committee with Andy Stevenson is in that. That is just a okay, forget about the social committee right now. Road committee. There's a gentleman that just stood up right now. We've always had a road committee.
We still do.
And we still do.
4 guys on it.
And we got them, I believe we gave the names to, I gave to Mindy, of the people on the road committee. It's Larry Riker, Rusty Boyd, John Stockhorse. I believe that was it. And then Mike Andrews is going to chair that committee.
I'm making a motion that we make, Mike the chairperson. I don't know if we need a motion for that, but.
I don't think we do.
Okay, so Mike's gonna chair it.
Mike will be chairing the road committee, which I think is really important with a lot that we got going on with the roads that need to be repaired, the cul-de-sacs that need to be built, the bridge that needs a study on it. So there's a lot of things happening that we have to address. So we don't need, I don't believe we have to have a vote on this committee.
Well, we have to make the committee, like we have to say that,
But that doesn't require a vote.
Okay.
You just decide to have a committee.
so we have
Okay.
decided. So is that all in favor of those committees?
That's what I'm saying, I don't think there's no vote required to form.
Okay, then they have been formed. And here's the list, if you want to be on any of those committees, they're right here. Sign your name on them.
Please.
We do not have a chairperson yet for the, capital,
I would
you will?
request to lead the capital
Oh,
committee.
yay.
Heartily second that.
Yes, we don't even need to, there we go. Chairperson for the capital, whatever we call that thing, capital. Improvements, there we go, committee.
In committee. That's great, I appreciate that, because I think that's something that's real important that we're gonna have to address. Because we need to start addressing these things now for the future.
Yeah. And approach.
Okay, next thing on the agenda is the social committee. I'm gonna let you
Okay.
take over that part. What's that?
I didn't know if Lindsay wanted to, be the chairperson of the social event committee or not.
Chair of social?
Very much so. We would love for you to hit
What do you
that
do for a
up.
living?
What do I do for a living? A lot of which one?
Aren't you, I may be crossing memories here, but marketing and,
I'm a chief operations.
So then you know a lot about social committees.
I know a lot about processes and accountability.
There you go, that'll work.
who's
That'll work.
who's arranging the pizza party?
Okay, so we,
I like
okay, on our agenda, we have, the, social event committee wants to do, a fall event. So, sorry, I apologize. They are, Andy, did you want me to read that whole letter?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, I just didn't know. So anyhow, they're doing a playground celebration and fall festival. They're wanting to do it on October the 18th from 10 to 2 p.m. And they are requesting that they want to have hot dogs, nachos, popcorn, otter pops, they'll need the things going along with those things, such as bags and trays and such for food items. They are going to have some games that they are wanting to, I don't know, are these purchase games, built games? Are these going to be assets for Indian Harbor for use at other functions? Or
Yeah,
these one time?
they're purchased.
Okay, so they're going to be assets that we'll have for other functions after that. So on their itemized list, which I can pass around to everybody if you want to see it, is they're estimating approximately $160 for food items, approximately $30 for supplies, approximately $252 for the games, and then the grand total is $445.43. So somebody needs to make a motion that we approve this, or would you like to?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Anybody?
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Did you get that, Lindsay?
I'll hand it to her.
I'm going reading shorthand all night long.
Okay.
That's based on 50 to 60 people showing up.
Okay.
Okay. Discussion. I'd like to say something about this. I think I've seen a lot of kids playing on that little playground up there, and I'm just excited. I know a lot of times it just sits there too, but, you know, like one lady whose kid had autism, and she couldn't, you know, took so many pictures and was so excited. So I think this is one thing that I kind of like in the harbor, is the more that we can do for our young folks also, I think it's just a plus. And to give more things in the harbor, and that we can get people involved. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor of the motion to accept? Put your hand.
All the committees?
Yes.
Oh, then I have a little discussion.
Nothing.
Just to clarify, there's 4 members of Rose. Dan Escobedo.
Right, we decided it didn't have to be voted on.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
So, but anyway,
Signature.
pardon?
But now we're voting on.
We're voting on the expenditures for the, what do you call this, engine, the fall?
The playground
Fall
and fall
celebration?
celebration.
Fall celebration. So, all in favor
Aye.
to accept this? All opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you,
What were
Andy.
the dates on that again?
October
18th.
18th from 10 to 2.
Joe? October 18th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay, next on the agenda is the ACC has approached the board and was wanting some changes. They requested some changes that they would like to see in the ACC guidelines. Rich, do you want to get up and make a quick statement
Yeah.
for the board?
First of all, technically, I don't think they're really changes. They're just additions. The requirements for, let me put it this way. We have requirements for site-built homes. The builder has to follow certain guidelines. We have nothing in effect right now for manufactured homes. So what we want to do is take the same rules that apply to site-built and put it into manufactured homes. Of course, there'll be some differences. But anyway, what I'm getting at is, we're asking for simple things like a survey. I mean, it's common sense. You need a survey. You can't put a structure on a lot unless you know where the lot corners are. And so we can measure setbacks. This is also covered in our deed restrictions that ACC is allowed to ask for this, whatever information we need to complete the process. And this is in there, so. Driveways, site-built homes, even though it's not in the deed restriction, it's something we have to put in there. The builders automatically put a driveway and add a driveway to all the site-built homes that they have. We believe, ACC believes, that if we're putting in a new manufactured home or replacing an existing manufactured home, let's upgrade it, let's put a driveway in, let's put some ground cover in there and make it look nice. That's what we're asking for. And again, it's in the deed restrictions. We ACC are allowed to ask for anything that would help aesthetically. So we're within our rights to ask for that right now. Culverts, I mean, that we have to have. We're asking for an engineer report. If a culvert is required, again, we need to know what the proper drainage is. Septic system, you're putting in there, permanent, year-round residents, you're required to have a septic. Basically, that's what we're asking for. There's nothing in there that isn't already covered in the deed restrictions. We're allowed to ask for it.
So what we're doing is I shouldn't use the word change, but we're just adding. So whatever is for the site-built homes, we're saying that's good for the manufactured homes.
Right.
Okay.
And we're asking that it eventually be put into the rules and regulations, because that would make it a little more solid. You know, we have gotten backlash from some owners. You know, why do I have to do this? I don't see where it's written here. Again, go back to the deed restrictions. Anything that ACC believes is right to conclude the deal, we're allowed to ask for that.
Okay. Ben?
Well, what I'd like to recommend, since he's got all this stuff together, is put that together as a package.
It's here.
Submit it to him.
We have it.
Oh, you got it?
We got it.
It's right
I've been
there.
out for a while.
It's in your packet right there, Bill, if you want to see
Okay.
the changes.
Yeah, 'cause
I mean,
I thought this was
it's
new.
really nothing new. These are
Yeah.
things that we have been asking for all along anyway. We just we're trying to put it out there. We want the board to be aware of it, and we're putting it out there so the builders, whatever, rehabbers,
Okay.
they know what we're asking for.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you, Rich. And I've got a question. I'm all in favor of that. But right now, I believe any additions that we're going to make to that should go out to the public where they get. Greg, can you expound on that?
Well, I think you're right, it falls under rules and regulations. You
Yeah,
have
we just
to-
add it to the rules and
Just like
regulations.
the mobile home thing, we need to put it out, publish what we're gonna change in 30 days.
I believe the way it's stated in there is that we have to. So I differ a little bit from some of you guys. I believe we're supposed to have 4 governing documents according to our deed restrictions or our CDRs, and one of them is architectural guidelines. I look at it as, even though architectural guidelines, we don't have to debate this, it's just my idea, is even though it's there, since we're supposed to have that 4th governing document, where it says architectural guidelines, which is what the document is supposed to be called, that literally is that 4th document. So, in our governing document, it states that ACC can recommend changes to their, we're not gonna call them rules and regulations, to their architectural guidelines. That's what they use. It's not part of the rules and regulations. That's should be a separate thing. And that's, using how you use something, blah, blah, blah. ACC is its own entity, can't even have a board member chair it. You have a liaison, and that's legally through Texas property code. So I look at it as if they come to us, as they have, and ask for us to change ACC guidelines to help them do their job better, because the problem they're having is kickback from builders, kickback from local homeowners saying, it's not there, it's not there. So if we put it there, now they can say, it's there. So it is on the permit and all those things. That's my view on it, so I would have no problem voting that in tonight in good faith, because I feel that that is an ACC guideline change that we can do.
Okay, for clarity, they're getting pushback, not kickback.
Well, okay, pushback.
Kickback is a.
Are you saying kickback? Sorry,
Just for
that
clarity.
was the word.
Rich?
I have the deed restriction here that allows us to ask for this. If you want, I can read it off.
I don't think there's a question about you guys being able to ask them.
But if
I don't think there's any
you
question.
want to look at the deed restrictions at page 20, you will see under procedures, you will see that
And there's another point of clarity, the part of the rules and regulations, part is 9 or 11, I forget what the number is, but it's titled architectural controls. I mean, it's the architectural controls for the park. It just happens to reside inside our rules and regulations. And as far back as I can find in our digging through boxes, it's always that way. Yeah,
I just want to clarify that changing this would not affect anybody who's currently in the harbor or their properties. It would only affect new people
Correct.
coming in. Because I think if it directly affects anybody that's here, that there should be a, community-wide vote. But other than that,
It's
it
just
makes
for
sense.
new manufactured homes,
Or any, or like in other
I
words,
mean,
like
I
here.
think that's a better idea than putting a limit on the age of it, is to make sure that the property looks nice.
And also, to clarify, is the 5-day notice that you're supposed to give for an action. It doesn't say you have to give the rule or anything else. It just says action is the term. It says rules and regulations. So that's where I get squiggly, is because I say this isn't a rule and regulation change. This is an ACC guideline change.
Okay, now, if you're gonna do that, what are the rules gonna be for ACC guidelines then? Yeah, when you're gonna take this, let's say, we're gonna take that out of the rules regs, right? We take the AC guidelines out of there, they're gonna be a separate document. What controls that document then?
The board does, because they don't get to make the changes. They get to suggest the changes.
Right.
Those changes can come to us just like they did tonight, which they actually came to the workshop and spoke with us about it.
Now, will they be published separate from the rules and regs? See, that's the thing I'm looking at, because we got 2 different documents. If we're gonna have ACC guidelines, not part of the rules and regs, then we gotta put it out there that they're gonna be a separate document.
And if I may, right now, if we were to pull them out today, we have no guidance on when it's, how long we have to post. Is there a response time? We'd have to create basically a new piece that governs how those were changed, created, modified, and all that kind of
I
stuff.
am not saying to take them out. I'm saying that it is our board document, even though it is within.
Oh, I agree. I don't think anybody has a problem.
So that it can stay where it is as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. I
I'm
misunderstood
just
what
saying
you were
that
saying.
I feel like the ACC committee has brought it to us properly, and that us as a board can say yes or no to the ACC guideline changes. It doesn't change anything in the rules and regulations section, just ACC Control Committee,
But the
ACC
ACC guidelines are part of the rules and regs, so they gotta follow that according to the bylaws. Yes, that's just like that thing I put together for security. It's part of the rules and regs. So what we have to do, I've submitted it, the board already approved it, now we're looking at publishing it. What you found in that one thing, that publishing it on the webpage and town square to give them 30 days to look at it and make their comments. But at the end of the 30 days, the board then decides what they're gonna do.
I understand what you're saying.
Uh-huh.
I do, but I'm saying that within this, when you read, rules and regulations are handled in a specific way, like you just said. It does say rules and regulations. I'm saying just because it's within that document, since we're supposed to have more governing documents, I feel like that is its own almost standalone, even though it's within.
If it's gonna be its own standalone document, then we gotta have the rules to cover how it's gonna be changed and who's gonna change it.
Oh, it's already in there how it's changed. It's in our bylaws and it's in our deed restrictions, how
Okay.
those are changed.
On ACC guidelines?
Yeah, it says that they suggest it and the board approves or disapproves
Well,
their
that's the other thing, they
suggestion.
get the rules and regs.
Why
No,
don't
we don't.
we do this, since we're all in such agreement that something needs to be done, let's, I mean, I offered with Rich before, if he needs some help organizing it all, but we can take a look at the rules and regs, and let's just see the best way to do it. But I do believe the architectural guidelines should, if it's gonna be in the rules and regulations, fine, but it ought to be a document that we can post or hand out to people on demand. And it says at the top, rule of architectural guidelines, a subsection of rules and regulations, if that's what it's supposed to be. But instead of just going back and forth, let's take a step back and let Rich and Marshall get themselves organized in how it's all
That's
formed.
been done.
Because you already know what you want to do.
Yes.
And we're all for that. So let's just see the best way to implement it.
So let's do this, James, hang on, we're just asking him, it's just a conversation, so.
Well, he's part of the committee.
No,
Richard,
No,
yeah.
Rich is part of the ACC.
yeah, I'm just trying to address John, you know, just like I did this gentleman, it's not open for
Oh.
discussion unless we bring it to you, so I just wanted to.
I just found it, I just found it funny.
What I think needs to be done, I don't know if we can post these changes out now and then vote or table the vote until we get this all together.
Yeah, I don't think we're organized enough yet to actually,
I
to
think that
even post
affects the
them.
cost of a permit too. So when we talked in the town hall meeting, like 75% of that permit is for like road wear and tear, and if you've got concrete trucks coming in and stuff to put in the driveways, then I would think that would also affect the cost of a permit to bring one in.
Okay.
And ACC is the one who sets the fees for all the permits, and then they bring that to the board for approval. So they do go through that and figure things out, and they are, I think, in the process of working on some of those things to update them. So.
Okay, Scott, you got anything to add? Does somebody need to make a motion to at least, okay, we got a motion on the floor to table. Is there a second? Discussions, any more discussion?
I have one discussion. Can you, without us doing this tonight, you as the ACC committee, can you still implement that? Like, can you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So what we would be doing would be just helping you by saying,
We
it's
just
in there,
need
guys,
that,
whether you like it or not.
We just need enforcement and backup and et cetera, but we will implement this.
Okay.
Okay, so we got a motion on the floor to table. We just wanna make sure you can still do what you wanna do.
Quick question, do we still intend at some point to actually make the changes in the documents that they're, okay,
That's what I want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a second?
She said, Lindsay seconded.
Second, okay. We had discussion. I'm going to stop discussion. All in favor of the tables, say aye. Raise your hand. All against? Okay, it carries. Okay, we're getting there, folks. The last thing that really is on our agenda that I want to bring up to the board is we've been having disagreements on when do we have our meetings. And to put it simple, we always have the town hall on the second Saturday of every month, correct?
Correct.
I would like to see it, then the workshop be the following Wednesday.
Correct.
And then the board meeting is the following Tuesday.
Correct.
So, you know, it's all real close together so we can retain information we get from the town hall. And that way somebody can look on their calendar, because due to the way the days are and the numbers in a month, everything kind of rotates, and I think this is just an easy way to clear that up.
You know what the only problem is? You can't set it up on your iPhone as an area of meeting. I mean, repetitive meeting.
That's why I gave you the little sheet that listed every doggone one of them. You just put them in.
But I don't know,
But you can't have it as.
I don't care how you get it on the Android or your iPhone, I think it just makes it simple for people like me. I can just look at it and I can tell by looking at the deal.
I make a motion, I don't know if we need one, but I'm just saying, I'm gonna make a motion because it says here, where it says the next meeting is October 28th, 2025, and according to the discussion we just had of the second Saturday for town hall, the following Wednesday for our workshop, and then the following Tuesday for our board meeting, that we change the next meeting date from October 28th, 2025 to October 21st, 2025, which will be the change necessary to follow that pattern we just discussed.
Do we have a second? Got a motion on the floor, do we have a second? Second. Any more discussion? All in favor of this motion, raise your hand. All opposed? Motion carries. Hopefully that will make it simple for everybody, and especially for me, that we do that. We're a little bit longer than 7 o'clock. That is the end of our board meeting. We appreciate everybody coming and being attendance of it. And so I hereby adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
If anybody wants to be on any of the committees, there's little sign-up sheets here, guys. We need help.
Lock your door, don't let them out. Oh, okay.
Here, but I didn't know where you Oh, we have to vote? All those in favor, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Do it.
Do I hear a motion? Second.
I make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye. Sorry, we're
Thank
learning.
you, Rich. I'm new at this, so.
That word when I live in my email, I'll see it.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Got it.
James,
What'd
you
you
look
think was so funny,
25
James?
years younger.
Yeah, it was getting in the way. You
Yeah, it
know?
was getting in the way.
I tend to.
him there first.
So what do you think was so
No, I
funny,
agree with you,
James?
and I think we can put that all together.
Your reaction to putting something on an ACC committee on vote tonight, but you ranted like crazy when everybody wanted to change the age of the
That's what you were
motorhome.
thinking, so let me just tell you why.
No, it ain't.
Let me explain to you.
It's wrong on both parts. It doesn't make any
let me just
difference.
explain the
You just
difference.
can't
So
do
here's
that.
the thing,
Yeah.
when the board was gonna change the mobile home, ACC did not want that changed. And our things say that ACC suggests change to the ACC guidelines.
Yeah.
Okay, and none of the guys wanted it, nobody on ACC wanted it changed. the board wanted to change. That is what I was fighting, that they were changing it when they shouldn't be, because it didn't come from ACC.
You might want to wait until after the 8th and let this lawsuit go through before we decide to change anything on the ACC. That's just a suggestion.
Well, we didn't change anything tonight, so.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know that.
I mean, we didn't.
I'm just saying,
We just had the discussion, and that's what we.
letting the public know about what changes are going to happen is probably the best way.
Oh, I don't disagree with that at all. I'm just saying.
Well, this was ambush.
Huh?
This was approval by ambush, as that's what I'll call it, because I know you didn't approve it. You tabled it. But you see, had it been approved, it would have been approval by ambush. You see what I mean?
Oh, no, because they came to our workshop and talked to us. And they gave us the document. We have the document, all the changes of the document. They didn't ambush.
But you didn't go through the process of letting everybody else know. About the
Because
change.
the ACC guideline change does not require that in rules and regulations. That was my view, and nobody else's. That's why I voted that I didn't agree. Because I feel like we can change the ACC guidelines with suggestions.
Well, maybe you're hot on these rules here, but you don't follow the bylaws.
Well, you know,
So there's a
I know
conflict
what
there.
you're saying, there's a
And
conflict, and
I gotta go talk to Scott real quick,
We'll have to get together and get.
and I'm gonna go ahead and let it go.
Well, that's kind of, because we were talking about one of the issues that we have is so many people want. Okay, go ahead. Get rid of in my head, I'm like, we could take one of the different guys down there and change research.
That's where we're gonna go first.
All right, thank you. I didn't think about it. I forgot about the long one in the back.
Yeah.
I forgot all about it.
Yeah, so that's a double bay, and then you got 4 doors in the front.
Yeah, it didn't hurt to get a bid. And I only thought there was 3 in the front. You did, when you walked in, James, I was like, who the hell is that? And then,
Yeah, I had to get rid of it. It'll grow back. It'll probably grow back.
The first year I grew mine for doing Santa, in January, I shaved it off and I said, I'm never doing that again. Because, you know who, Rip Torn was?
Yeah.
Okay, well, have you ever watched that Forged in Fire on TV where the blacksmithing group? Well, there's a judge there that he's got, and I think the name of it, he's got a mustache, and then it's like, not really a goatee, but he's hair. My wife said, I think you would be good with that. I shaved everything off of that, I look like Rip Torn. I was like, no, that's gotta go. So I've said, after that, I said, I'm not shaving it off till I'm done.
Who's the lawyer that's going to write up that paper that you want to? Yeah.
From Adam Pugh.
Adam Pugh? You might want to get a different lawyer to give you that
Well, I'll tell
paper.
you
I
this.
mean, well, let's face
Let
it.
me give you a little background.
It depends on who's making the pay. You can get one lawyer to make one paper one way and another lawyer to make another paper another way over the same topic.
My sister is a retired attorney.
I understand.
And she did a quick search, because, again, she's retired. And in 7 years, anything of even this ilk, the judges thrown out. There's not a case inside the state of Texas where it ever made it past walking in the courtroom.
Okay.
The judge has admonished some groups, because you just go in there and cry me a court.
And in the past, I can understand that. But we're talking about judges now that are putting in board members and presidents in jail. Didn't you see, I know you're on Facebook, didn't you see all that paperwork and situation?
There's no harm. That's the first thing the judge is going to ask is, what's the harm? And there's no harm.
Well, there is some harm.
No, none
Because-
whatsoever.
Actually, yeah, because if
Well, I
there's,
mean, there's another issue. James is gonna tell you there's harm, you're gonna say there's not.
Well,
That's his opinion.
I'll hire the lawyer that says that there will be harm, okay?
if your
You see,
lawyer
that's
is-
what I'm trying to get at. You can't depend on a paper. And in the end,
here's the thing.
it's not the community, it ain't me you gotta convince.
So James, I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
What's the harm?
What's the harm?
Yeah, what's the harm?
Going back to 2019, clearly, where 2021 there wasn't a legal member on the board? I'm sorry.
What's the harm?
What's the harm?
What's the harm?
Everything they decided.
No, it's not.
If you're not a legal
here's the
board
thing.
member, you had no reason to
No,
vote.
you're wrong, James. But
Well,
here's
that's the
that's why I'm
point.
not gonna run to a lawyer every time you steal.
Well, I
think it's a waste of
understand that.
money.
I understand that. You would think I was
That's
wrong
only
for
my
saying that I
opinion.
woke up.
Well,
So
here's the
that's
thing.
just, you would say I was wrong if I woke up.
The
So
only thing
wrong
that-
side of the
James,
bed.
I
You
only
give
think
them
you're wrong
credit.
when you are wrong.
Well,
It was good that
again,
you pointed that out.
It's
because
not
we need
me,
to be
it's not
aware
the
of it.
community, it's a judge.
Right, but here's the thing.
And
Each of the elections that we had in the previous years when we didn't appoint one, the process was still independent and secret. Okay, so which was the intent of having the election committee is that you didn't have vote tampering and stuff like that.
and where you're going to get it is that if you don't follow the bylaws, what's the purpose of having it?
We agree. That's one of the things we plan on changing because it actually works out better for everybody if we employ the independent firm. Because then there's no question.
Okay.
And they can't, we're going to say they can't live in the harbor. They're going to have to be totally independent.
Well, we're going to find out soon enough. It's actually going to come up quick. Y'all ought to get one of them great big gavels, you know.
No. Well, see, this showed up here when he became president. So tonight I took it and I put that one there, the blue one that's been over in that lectern over there for I don't know how long.
Yeah.
He
Anyway,
never got it.
anyway, Mike is right though. I wouldn't waste the money on the paperwork for the lawyer.
Well,
See, I do say when you're right. Okay.
Well, like
I agree with you that that kind
You
of
are
stuff.
100% correct in that thing that you found. The problem is, was there anything done that harmed the harbor other than your and my opinion? We hired a
Okay.
CPA firm to do the ballot counting, which was far better than a committee.
While I agreed to that, you didn't change the bylaws.
And see, then you go around and instead of coming to you could have picked up the phone and called me of all people.
No, I
You
can't.
don't. You
No, I
you
can't.
throw
I
rocks.
can't talk to the board.
And that's why.
You know what? You want to know? That's a lesson learned hard last year.
No, it's a
That
lesson.
anytime I'm filled up.
Dave,
Oh, I learned a lesson.
You don't work for the harbor.
You're right. I don't work for the
harbor.
I don't work for the harbor. I don't work for the benefit.
for the betterment of the
betterment of the harbor. Why would I
You
work
want to tear
for?
things down, I want to build them.
Why would I work for something that wants to throw me in jail?
Nobody, the harbor doesn't want to throw you in jail.
Excuse me, you did.
No. When you put
$1,800
on
on.
smart ass crap on Facebook.
Okay, well there you
that's
go.
where it ended up.
That's yeah. So the idea was
You
let's call
committed
the
a crime,
sheriff.
James. That's
I
why
didn't
the
commit no
sheriff's
crime.
department-
Well, I feel that you're committing a
They
crime.
charged
So
you, didn't they, James?
yeah, they charged, and I
There
took
you
a
go.
deal.
So they felt like you committed a crime.
Yeah. Well, I guess so.
You know, that's just what it is.
And yet you ask, why don't I come to the harbor? That's a pretty good reason not to.
No, it's not.
Very good reason. You have a good day, Mike. You gotta lose. You gotta lose. That ain't me you gotta convince. Right there. It's a judge. Now, if you think a judge is gonna roll over, they're putting people in jail.